the weight was coming off. I'm enjoying my running and I'm enjoying my training. But you know what? I really want others to know that they can do it too. How can I help people? Hello and welcome to the Fat Man to Ironman Coach Marshy running podcast. I am Neil Marsh, Coach Marshy. I hope you are well and welcome to today's episode. So how's your week been? How's your training going? It's been great hearing some feedback, but what I want, guys, is I want you to come and get involved. I want you to leave some comments somewhere, get in contact via social media, have a chat with me about your running journey. I'd love to feature some of you on here in the future. Don't be scared. So, paying it forward. Have you ever seen the film? The concept of the film is inspirational. I mean, talk about a concept that we could all learn from right now, I think, in modern day. I won't spoil it too much, but a young kid, he's at school in the film, and he decides he wants to help 3 people. He's going to do something good, a good deed for 3 other people. And the truth is, he then asks those 3 people to then pay that forward to 3 others. And as you can imagine, it just balloons, right? It's an inspirational concept. I won't spoil the film if you haven't seen it, but definitely watch it. It's worth a watch. So there I was doing really well after uni. The journey had really started. You know, those consistencies were there. And I just felt I wanted to do a lot more with what I'd learned and the things that I was starting to pick up. Not so much just the science, but the psychology, the mindset, the things I was learning. And, you know, I just wanted to pass that on. And I'd worked in the industry. I'd worked in the fitness industry before going to uni and before the weight gain. And I liked helping people. I really liked what that stood for, trying to make a difference to someone's life. So finished uni, you know, the light bulb moment, David Attenborough, all of that. You know, if you listen to the previous episodes, you'll certainly hear about all that. And I joined this new sports centre that had just opened, the gym that was attached to my old school, Impington Sports Centre. And I'd like to think now, looking back, that it did have an impact on the people that were there at the beginning when I was there as a member, and very much want to think that it had a positive impact what myself and the rest of the team did and how we helped. So that's great. But typical sports centre manager, dinosaur, whatever you want to call him, wanted the direct debit run to be the most important thing, rather than thinking about helping others and how we could help others, to then not worry about the finances. Let's get the results. Let's focus on people. But obviously, I get the impression that there's a lot of people that are narrow-minded and think that's the only way business can happen. But what I would say is I'm learning a different way. So that was good, helping people a little bit. Then I moved on to Forefront Fitness, became a gym manager. There weren't a lot of helping people there. It wasn't that we didn't have the facility to do so. It was, as a manager, you're not really going to help people. And if you've got an idea of how it wants to go, and that isn't the business owner's idea of where they want it to go, you're certainly not going to help people that way either. So limited, but a little bit of success. I was only there for a short time before I decided to go on by myself as a boot camp. And I would say that's when I really started to notice that I was starting to help people and felt that things were starting to change for me and that I was able to have the impact that I wanted to, following my methods and my understanding. And we started to build a little community. If I think about what that's become now, wow. But that's where it started, really helping people and making a difference. And then probably my biggest achievement the moment where it all started to really change, and I realized that what I've done and what I've learned can really help people and have an impact. And that was in 2014, when I am proudly sitting here saying that I founded a running club, which is now known as High Runners. Back in 2014, it was an idea. I wanted this village, Histon and Impington, to have a running club. I felt it needed it. I felt it was big enough to have its own. Being quite close to Cambridge, there's some very good established running clubs there. But I felt it was big enough to have its own, a community of runners, like-minded people. Session 1 started with 4 people on the local recreation ground. And maybe that grew to 8. Session 2, you just don't think about these things at the time. But now that running club has over 100 members in it. And I just never thought it would be this. And it continues to grow. It continues to grow as a platform for people to get involved in running. If they've never been a runner before, that's fine. It's a platform for them. And it's become more than that. It's become friendships, running journeys together. People got lifelong friends now. And you might think this all sounds very arrogant, blowing his own trumpet. No, not really. That's not my point. My point is there is now a platform there, which I'll get to later on, as to why I feel it has moved people forward and helped people. And the best thing about it is that there's people that could not even run one lap of that rec when they join. Still happens now. And they end up going on to be an ultra marathon runner. I mean, just imagine it. What an achievement for those people. Did they ever think that they could achieve something like that before? Probably not. But now they've achieved it. And they never thought they could. Which kind of brings me on to the concept of paying it forward. Yes, I put the platform there. And yes, those people have to turn up and do work. But then year on year now, 6 at the time of recording, 6 years into this. And the rolling effect year after year is unbelievable to watch. It's something that I'm really proud of. And actually, sometimes people don't realize the roots of the journey. And the truth is, I don't need them to realize the roots of the journey. That is not important. What is important is that this paying it forward approach is continually rolling with these people. And it just is amazing to see the changes. The year-on-year concept is really simple. The first few runners that were beginners, I took them along with me on my journey to marathon training, sort of a year after that I did it, or 2 years after I'd done it for the first time. Took them through that, coached them through it. And there were 2 ladies in particular, Belinda and Dawn, and they did Brighton Marathon in 2015. And then from their achievement, which was absolutely phenomenal, 3 or 4 others then showed an interest for 2016. And I think the truth is, that's when it really started to spiral. And that rule of 3, whether it was or not, I'm not too sure. We'd have to work it out. But it started to build. And we went as a club in 2016 to Brighton Marathon. And there was a lot of us that went and did it. And that was a direct paying it forward from those ladies, showing that you could do it. You could train. You could do this, follow this method. And then if you do that, you'll get there. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And we've been back all the time. Every year we've been back. And more people, new runners come into the club, end up doing that marathon. And Brighton's just one example. The Grim Reaper Ultra Marathon was another, something that myself and a few of the guys from the club decided to do back in 2016 because it was the next logical step. And I think on the count, in the last time that event took place in 2019, the count was like over 40 runners from our club came and joined in with that ultra marathon. And that's just that concept. It's not about me. Let me be clear. It's not about me. It's about the concept that the next person, then the next person, they all inspired each other to become what they are today. And the best thing about it is they've got lifelong friends out of it as well. What an achievement. What a thing to get. Genuine friendships. No bitchiness, no stabbing in the back. Genuine friendships from that. So, you know, I've now gone on and created a fitness facility sort of during that process as well. Came just after High Runners, which kind of focuses on weight loss and running strength and conditioning. And the same thing has happened. The Fit Fam, story after story, year after year, people come in. These people who remember being that person, grab them, bring them under their wing, and they help them through their journey. And yes, as coaches, so it used to be just me, but now there's a group of coaches. Yes, we have to help and get the science right and involve those people. But actually, the truth is these people bring them in, take them under their wing, and then they end up friends and they end up going out for dinner, socializing together, lifelong friends. Kids become friends, and they're all fitter and healthier and enjoying life as well. And it's absolutely awesome to watch that happen. And I've even got people that have left this place that have formed a little friendship group when they were here, and they're still lifelong friends. Even though they've moved on for whatever reason, they are still lifelong friends. And that was because of a concept of paying it forward and helping others. So for me, there's 3 really important things to consider if you are looking to pay it forward and trying to help people. I'm not talking about the science here. I'm not talking about the methodology. I'm not talking about that sort of thing. That's all about being qualified to give that information. That is one of the points, but it's not strictly limited to that point. But it is one of the 3 points. But something I want to get across is you can help people. But what I want you to know is if you take these 3 things into consideration, it may save you from being hurt in the process. Okay? So what do I mean by this? So the first thing that you need to consider when trying to help people is they are not you. Okay? Try and be in their shoes. For me, I wasn't a runner, so it's quite easy to have empathy with people. And with running, weight loss can be a thing as well. So for those particular people, I can get a bit of empathy. But remember, they are not you. So whatever you did might not necessarily work for them. But if you consider that and you put yourself in their shoes, you can make a difference to them. The second thing to consider when trying to help someone is know your limitations. So firstly, what are you qualified in? Or are you simply just telling them about your experiences and hope it inspires them? For me, this one's really good because if you know your limitations, you can effectively put this point across, which I hear so many of our running clubs say now. Listen to as many experiences as possible, including mine, and be a sponge and absorb that. And then go and talk to 1 or 2 qualified professionals who you trust and believe in to talk over the points and things that have come up, nutrition advice, what gels they used, what strategies they used. Go and talk to someone who's qualified. And that person, if they're a good coach, they're not going to tell you that that's wrong. They're not going to put their opinion just on you and say, no, that's rubbish. Don't listen to that. They're going to use that to help coach you in the right way. The third thing to consider when trying to help people is, and this one's my favorite, people talk a good game. Don't waste your time. So what do I mean by that? You can only really help people who want it. There's some right know-it-alls out there as well, right? And no matter what you say, they have a better version or a better experience of a story than you do, or they know someone who did this, and it's always got to be competitively better. And the truth is, there's people not listening to this podcast because of that concept. And that might sound very confrontational, but it's true. Don't waste your time, guys. If someone doesn't want your help, don't try and give it to them, because it's not going to make a difference. And all it's going to do is end up in you being hurt. So you can only help people who really want it. So quick recap then. So just remember, paying it forward is awesome. Okay. It's something that we can all do. But anyone you're paying it forward to, they're not you. Know your limitations and don't waste your time. But what I would say is you never know how your actions can help others. So absolutely go for it. Believe in yourself. Talk about your stories and your experiences. People are just an amazing thing. And although I put the running club and a fitness facility in place, the truth is it goes full circle. Why? Who motivates the motivator? You. The people. And you continue to pay it forward to new people that are just starting out on their running journey, that are just starting out on their health kick. And you pay it forward back to me. And you inspire me every day to continue to do what I'm doing. So go for it. Be proud of what you've achieved. Share it with others. They can do it too. Pay it forward. So if you enjoyed the podcast, be sure to head over to the YouTube channel for running tips and how-to advice on your running training and your strength and conditioning. You can also learn about my journey and what I'm up to right now with my personal vlog as well around my training. And I ask you if you could just give us a little rating as well. That would be much appreciated. And like I said, please come and get in contact. Any social media handle, get in contact with me. I want to hear about your stories. I want to hear how you have got through your running journey. And you will inspire me. It totally will. I love real life success stories, not these fabricated ones. I love the real life success. So please do get in contact. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope we can meet here again next week to discuss more on the Fat Man to Ironman Coach Marshy running podcast.